What's going on, guys? So, as you seen last week, we got the chopper off the lift, and now we got the blue bike on the lift, the Softail. I was gonna record putting it on, and then I got busy getting stuff out of the way, and then I just put it on and forgot. So, you guys aren't missing much. But got this on now. I'm gonna go over what we're gonna do in this video real quick. Actually, I'm gonna jack the bike up first so you get to see that. Do a little speed clip of this. Alright, so we're up on the lift. I'll lift it up now. And got a big old long list. It's all on my phone. But the first thing I'm going to do tonight, and then I'll probably quit, is I've got to jack this bike up, put like a block in the back, so I can get my oil drain pan underneath there. And then I'm going to pull the plug and let the oil drain out. Let the oil drain out, and probably let it drain out overnight. I started the bike up, let it idle outside for a while, warm up, and I took it around, just around the neighborhood here for like 10 minutes or so, and got it good and hot. So we'll let the oil drain out, you know, like I say, for a while. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not going to start it anymore tonight, so, or start doing anything more tonight. So I'll just let it drain and get that old oil out of there, and then we'll start fresh tomorrow, which will be not long for you guys here in just a few minutes. But a few things I can think off the top of my head. One thing I already did was I took my throttle assembly off up here. I adjusted it a little bit too. Can't really tell in the video, but it's a little looser than what I would normally have it. But it's not bad. It's actually, it feels pretty good, especially up here. But I rode around the block. I also greased inside here because where the plastic was in this was just, it wasn't sliding good. So I greased that up, and now it like really kicks back. It got to the point where I was riding it, and if I let go, it would kind of just slowly go back. And obviously that's not good. So now she's right where she needs to be. I've got a new oil filter for it, or new air filter for it. Obviously I got a new oil filter for it. But I got a new air filter. We're going to do the spark plugs. Got some iridium spark plugs for it. That's what I got in it now. I bled the back brakes there a couple videos ago, and I bled through some new fluid, so it's got new fluid in it. I'm going to do the same thing with the front. So the front master cylinder and the front caliper have new .4 brake fluid in it. I have to do the front seals because, as you can see right here, it's leaking. So I got the seals, got the oil, and stuff like that. I'll take you over the bench and show you everything I got here in just a second. What else are we going to do? I'm going to do a clutch adjustment down in the primary, and then obviously readjust it up here too. Make sure it's good to go. I haven't done it in a while. And then I got to get my axle cap nuts back on, or covers. But I'm going to try to re-white leather the tires. While I have the front tire off, do that. Obviously the back tire, I'm going to take off and do that. I need to adjust the belt. Make sure it's where it needs to be. The deflection on it's a little off right now because it's still similar to brand new belt, and it was stretching. I think after I do this time it should be good, but I'm going to be checking it along the trip. I'll be putting my king and queen seat back on. It's going to be hard to see in the, well, it might not actually be hard. Those bushings right here, gone. So I got new bushings. They don't last worth shit on this bike, so got that. Yeah, without looking at the list, I don't know. There's not too much more. Like I mentioned in a previous video, the transmission and the primary fluid are both good on this bike, so I'm not worried about those. They're pretty new. Yeah, that's just about it. I mean, I'm gonna slowly go over everything, make sure I lube and grease everything up real good. Maybe some of the clutch don't seem bad, but you know, grease and lube some of that stuff up. Anyways, but take you over the bench real quick and show you what I got, and then we'll take a break. But I have rain gear, but I didn't have like the covers for my boots or whatever. I would carry muck boots and wear those sometimes, and it takes up way too much space. So I got covers for that, and then I needed some new straps to keep my rain pants down over my boots. I got a liter fuel reserve bottle and a bag that I'm going to try to mount somewhere on the bike. Don't know exactly where yet. I may even mount it to my bag. We'll see. This, since I'll be doing some long hours some days, it hooks up to your battery or your pigtail, whichever, but I'm going to hook it straight up to the battery probably. And it's got a little USB port. I bought a charger just for the bike. I'm going to try to run that up underneath the tank or underneath the frame, because I'm not a big fan of having the charger on the bike, but I need it for this trip. So I'm going to try to make it look as clean as possible. That's the fork seals and fork oil for the Sportster, which I got to do that when I get back. Fork seal driver for that. Been wanting one of these for a long time. Battery powered little air compressor. I think they go to, I feel like this one's set on 150, but I think it's maybe 120. 150 seems like a lot, but it might be. It doesn't say on the outside of this box. It did when I bought it, but got that. Rock straps. I've heard of multiple people using these and they love them. I've never tried them, so I want to try them because I might have to strap some extra stuff to the back of my bag. My Sys Bar bag that I have. It's a pretty big size, but like I said, need some stuff on the outside. Wanted this. It's easier to control, and as much as I work on bikes, this is a fork nut socket, so it'll work for both my bikes. And since I got to do both of them, I went ahead and got that. Got the fork seal driver for this bike too, 41mm front end versus the 39mm Sportster. I wanted this one because it's got some weight to it. When I did the Sports the first time, I made a PVC tube that worked, and trying to get them seals in there just wasn't it. So got this one. I think it's gonna be worth it. Fork oil for that. I just gotta mount this to my handlebars for my phone mount, unfortunately. Another thing I don't really like run on this bike that much, but I got a throttle lock. Also not a big fan of throttle locks, but I've ridden this bike for a long time before, and not having any kind of cruise or not being able to drop my right hand or move it at all is too much. I've done it for 10 hours in a day or whatever. I'd rather not. So I won't use it a whole lot, but every once in a while when I want to be able to move my arm, not so much rest my arm. I know the ape hangers look big, but my arms don't really go numb on this bike. I'm more just slightly over shoulder level than it really looks. So it's actually pretty comfortable, but just not being able to move your arm kind of sucks. This is the bushings for the kickstand, fork seals, the Iridium spark plugs, and the new air filter. So I also have on order a oil temp gauge dipstick. I think I said that in a previous video too. I had one before and it gave out. It was no good. It's off-branded one. I got a Harley Davidson branded one this time. We'll see if it works or not. My Sportster has one on it and it came with it, and it's Harley Davidson branded, and it's worked great ever since I had it. I haven't had any problems with it, so hopefully it'll be fine. I really like that on a long trip, or just in general at all. I like to be able to see what my bike's running somewhere around there. So I got that, and the key fob broke for this bike probably 4 years ago. I think it was 21 when it broke, and I've been running it with the code ever since. If you don't know about that, check your bike, Harley dealer bike. You may know it if you bought it from a dealer, but if not, check it out, or ask the old owner if he has a code, because you can change it. You know, like a lot of them are the last 5 of your VIN, or it's 01010 or 0000011111, whatever. And I called a dealer. I didn't know that. You just kind of turn the ignition on, hold both the turn signals at the same time. You get flashing lights on your odometer, and you punch in your code, and you can get home throughout or bypass your security system and get home that way. Like I said, once you know the code, you can change it. So like I got lucky and mine was still the serial number, so then I was able to set my code and stuff. So, but that's literally how I started my bike for the last 4 years. Because the key fob was on back order. I had one ordered for a good 2 years, and it never came. Finally, the order canceled. Checked back here the other day when I ordered that dipstick, and they had them in stock, and I should be getting it Monday. I don't think I'll have it for my trip because I gotta have it set. I don't think that's something I can do. I think you have to have a code reader for it. Unfortunately, I looked it up. I was gonna try to do it myself, and I have to pay the Harley dealer to do it, I think. So do that when I get back sometime. Code works fine. It's nice because I don't have to have any keys. Don't have any keys to lose. But yeah, that's about it for right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this oil drained and get inside and do some other stuff because it's getting late. And we'll get back on this bike tomorrow and finish some stuff up. All right, so got it draining. I got 2 different oils draining because it's been way too long since I've changed my oil on this bike. And the first drain plug I pulled, I don't know why I pulled it. Also another sign I should go in tonight. I'm getting tired, but I pulled the transmission plug. So, like I said, the transmission oil, I didn't think it was that old, but I think it is. It was older than I thought. So, anyways, we'll see you guys tomorrow. A couple seconds for you. All right, so it's the next day. We're getting ready to start back on the Softail, getting it ready. As you've seen, I accidentally drained the transmission fluid out. So I run Redline transmission fluid in it. There's a place downtown, 30 minutes from me. I went on my lunch hour and got it. I didn't have the filter yet, so I just ran to O'Reilly's and got a chrome Wicks filter for the bike. So should be able to get all that on there now. Go ahead and take this old one off. Put our plugs back in real quick first, and then we'll start tearing into some other stuff. So I'm gonna get to that, and then I'll catch back up with you guys in a second. Okay, so a little tip. If you work on your bikes a lot, Harley makes these service manuals. They run anywhere from $75 used to like 120 something brand new. A little pricey kind of, but they're definitely worth it. Let me see. So you don't have to try to remember, like, you're not a full-time service tech like I'm not. I can't remember the torque specs and everything, and this listed out each chapter at the beginning, goes through and tells you the torque spec on everything they go over in that chapter, plus it tells you, step by step and what to do, things like that. So I pull this out every time I'm working on stuff. I replaced the O-rings on both the drain plugs of the transmission and the oil. I got those back in there. It's recommended 14 to 21 foot-pounds for my bike. Check yours. They're all different. If you have a 2010 FX STC or really any Softail around that year, you're pretty safe with that. But if you got something way off of that, just double check. But it's a drain plug. It's around what most of them are going to be. So I got those torqued back in there. Now I'm gonna put the fluid in it. It's recommended 32 fluid ounces, so 1 quart for the transmission. Engine takes 3.5. But at the very bottom of the crankcase, there's another little plug. I'm not gonna pull it out right now, but it's normally where that other half lays. And so every time I've ever kind of changed the oil in this, I've really only had to put about 3, unless I've hooked the air to it before and got some of that old oil blown out before, pushed it through the system. But I'm just gonna put I only got 3 quarts right now anyway, so I'll put the 3 quarts of those in there after we change our filter, and then we'll catch back up with you then. We might do something easy, maybe catch that jiffy stand and do those bushings for that, and maybe replace the air filter or something, just kind of get some things rolling. We also got to get the wheels off these things so I can clean them up, try to white letter them, make sure they're all good to go. And then after that, we'll we got the fork seals yet to do, whatnot. But anyways, we'll keep going. I'll keep you updated. This may be a 2-part video, just to kind of keep it short and simple. I'll do like basic stuff maybe on this one, and then maybe the next video I can do like the fork seals and stuff like that. So stick around and we'll get back to it. Okay, so we got the oil filled back up, both of them, 3 quarts of regular motor oil and 1 quart 32 fluid ounces in the transmission of the Redline oil. In case you guys don't have one of these books or whatever and you're watching this video to learn, I'm gonna read out it what to do. Gonna skip over the very basic stuff. Warm up your engine, blah 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 blah, put it on the jiffy stand, drain your oil, then remove your filter. The filters on these are up there in a weird spot and they get oil over all the time. This time I took a red rag and really shoved it up underneath there, and it seemed to help a little bit. Sometimes also if I'd have it on the ground, I would try to tilt the bike to the right a little bit to help get some of the oil draining out of the filter, but obviously it was up there, so I couldn't do that this time. But if you show the rag up there, it helped quite a bit. So a little tip of the trick there. And then obviously, like I said, put your drain plug back in. Make sure you put a new O-ring on it, because they get pretty chewed up. Just threw the other ones away, but they were bad. And tighten it 14 to 21 foot-pounds. And then go to your oil filter, give it a little wipe around the seal, make sure it's all clean, put it on there, just hand tighten, 1/2 to 3/4 turn, tighter than hand tight is what they say, but I just do it about as tight as I can. My hands are a little slippery, so I took my wrench just a little bit, but not very much, not any more than I would have been able to do with my hand. And then fill it up, 3 or 3.5 fluid ounces, or 3.5 quarts. I would put 3. Start your bike, check it. Like I said, mine, I don't always get it drained out quite all the way, just the way it sits in that motor. Transmission for sure, 1 quart, just put the whole thing in there. That drain plug also, replace the O-ring, 14 to 21 foot-pounds. And what else did I do? That's it. The top transmission dipstick, you check it. Well, let me double check here, mark the page, but it's 25 to 75 inch-pounds when you install it back. I didn't do that, I just tightened it a little bit. It's not, to me, that one's not quite as bad because it's up on top. Yeah, so you want your bike on the jiffy stand for checking the transmission fluid. If you put 1 quart in there, it should be fine, but still check it in case all the oil didn't get drained out or something. The fluid. And you put it on the jiffy stand, just set it in there. You don't thread it in and then pull it out, and it should read on the dipstick right. So that's for those 2 things. And I'm gonna move the camera around here and put you over, and we're gonna do this jiffy stand real quick. So I peeled some chrome off the top of this because it was peeling pretty bad. Anyways, need to get out of there. A trick to these springs, if you guys don't already know it, load this thing up with some coins. I normally try to do about every one like that, so it does it evenly. Works best with like pennies or coins that aren't super thick. But you just pull that spring out just like that. Sorry if I'm in the way. Oh shit. Sometimes it's kind of a pain in the ass. Get them all in there, but once you do, it's much, much easier to get the spring off. And you push it up like that. I need a couple more. Yep, there we go. And it just literally pops right off there. And then set it down nicely so you don't pop all your coins out. Because if you pop all your coins out while you got it there, it sucks to get it back around there. Alright, so this one, mine has a little cotter pin on it. And as you can see, it is absolutely gone. There's the other side of it. Even this bottom one is just absolutely shot to pieces too. So go grab that other one real quick. This bottom was so shot on there that I had to put it in a vise and beat it to get it off there. So now I'm going to go ahead and wipe this down real quick. Kind of clean some of that up so I can get to it. I'm gonna grab the grease. Actually, I don't know if they say to do this in the book or not, but I'm going to because it's a moving part and the grease is not going to hurt it. That's technically what these bushings are for, but this is still sliding back and forth inside that kickstand, so I'm gonna do it. There we go. Actually, get this out of there real quick, because yeah, you can hear that chrome. It sounds awful when I'm putting it on a kickstand too. It's bad. It's just, it's not a good place to have the chrome, to be honest, because it just gets rubbed off all the time by those bushings. And it's if you've never heard the joke, you know, a Harley chrome is junk. It's not even really a joke, it's just a fact. I learned that with this bike. I hate that I'm having to tear this off like that, but it's not a very visible part of the bike. And it's not gonna hurt it. So, try this again. Put this in there. A couple other places right here where this is hitting, but there we go. Don't really hear anything anymore. Satisfied with that. And yeah, those bushings are almost just not even big enough. Let me jump over and get a cotter pin real quick. I'm gonna put one of these.
Sorry, I messaged you. Your knife.
A knife? What happened to that red one?
It's still in my office. I just need to open these up because the shirts are not in there.
Alright, got my cotter pin now. I'm gonna just, oh shit, pop it right in there. I'll go ahead and pop it all the way through. I feel like that needs a thin washer in there because the cotter pin I have just isn't very thick. Let's see if one of these will work. Ooh, that one looks like it might be perfect. No, what the hell do I do with the cotter pin? I got too many out here now. Sorry guys. Alright. Alright. So now you take your spring, put that back like that. There we go. Then you just pull up. And your points fall out. For the most part. You gotta have a couple, but boom. That's how you do your Jiffy stand bushings. Alright. So now that we've done that, I'm gonna grab my phone and go over my list again, what all I need to do. Try to do something small. Real quick. Actually, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm going to go ahead and take off and do this air filter real quick. As I've mentioned already, I greased up my throttle up here already and adjusted the line so it doesn't stick anymore. There's a grease zert in the neck. I greased that. I may still adjust the neck bearings. They actually call for adjustment at 20,000 miles, and I can pull the book out here in a little bit and show you what you actually have to go over at the 25,000 mile mark. I'm actually at like 27 or whatever. I've done different services different times, kind of a little more frequently, and some of them I do need to do. So that's why we're going over the bike before we ride at 4,500 miles. I just put the old oil filter or air filter back in there the other day to so I could warm the bike up and ride around the block and stuff. But it is time to actually replace it. I'm also going to take this off because I have a gasket right here that's off center and I'm not quite sure why. So I'm going to take that apart and double check that real quick and try to just clean this up in general, this whole throttle body piece. So I'm going to do that off camera because I ain't got a whole lot of battery right now, and you guys don't need to necessarily watch me do all that. I can explain it after I'm done. Okay, so I got it all off there. Pretty much what I did was, this is on here, there's 3 bolts going in the face of the throttle body and then right into the breather. As you can see, it needs wiped off. It's not terrible, to be honest, considering. But let me show you that gasket that came out of there. I don't know what the hell this is, whether it's a universal one or something, but it it ain't quite round anymore because whether it was put in there wrong or what. It's got extra holes. So to hell with this. I think I have some gasket material, so I'm gonna make one real quick and have one that fits a lot better and the openings, full, because gotta let that thing breathe, So not that was really affecting that much of it, but I do want it clean and a new gasket on there. Make sure it's sealed good. Don't want no hiccups along the way. I want this thing to run perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm actually gonna let the battery charge on this thing for just a little bit, and I'll show you guys how to make a gasket yourself. Okay, so I got a rough gasket cut out, and you just kind of take a ball peen hammer. And go around it like that. As you can see, it's kind of marking it out for you. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this part out real quick and then we'll come back. And you gotta make sure you get the holes drilled in there right, but other than that, that's pretty much how you do it. Okay, so got the round shape pretty well cut out. It doesn't have to be super pretty, but you do want the inside to be pretty open. I may trim it up just a little bit more, but then I'm just going to take this old piece, set it right over top, and go through and then drill the holes. I'd take like a drill bit of that size and drill those holes. Really just need to worry about 1, 2, 3, these 4 holes. These 2 don't matter because that gasket has to come off before that anyways, but that's what I'm worried about, is those 4 holes, and make sure this is all good and you got yourself a new gasket. Okay, so we got some more torque specs here I want to go over. The breather bolts are 22 to 24 foot-pounds. The throttle body bolts are 40 to 60 inch-pounds, or like 5 foot-pounds. So just make sure you torque that stuff down, especially these breather bolts. And you want to be able to crush that gasket the way it should be and all that too. So just so you know, these technically probably have a torque spec too, but I mean, this is an aftermarket, so I just make sure these are decently tight. I've never had a problem with them. So anyways, that's that. Alright, got the new filter on, stretched over there. It's a pre-oiled filter, so don't have to worry about that. And damn, it looks better than the old one. This one has needed to go for a while. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up on this side, and then we're gonna do the spark plugs real quick, and that'll probably be it for tonight and possibly this video. I'll see about how long this one's gonna be, and I'll go over my list again real quick too to make sure. I'll probably do the brake fluid in the front on this video too. I'm trying to do the more simple, regular, everyday stuff like that in this part 1 video, and we'll do the more I guess advanced whatever have you in the part 2 of the service videos. This thing's definitely gonna need a good bath after I'm done. I'm getting oil and everything all over everything, but that's good though. Ain't gonna hurt any of that. man, I'm glad to have all that cleaned up. Even just the plate itself looked way better. So I'm gonna bring you over to this side for the spark plugs real quick, and I'm gonna get this set up for a second. Pull these boots off. And the book says to change spark plugs every 20,000 miles. I would personally recommend you maybe do it a little bit more than that. Let's go ahead and try to get one of these filled out real quick. Oh shit, what is this one? There we go. But just kind of go off what they look like when you pull them out. But it's cheap insurance. It doesn't hurt to change spark plugs. This bike tends to run a little rich, so these, yeah, not horrible, but definitely doesn't hurt to go ahead and replace spark plugs. Because I mean, look at how quick and easy this is. Pop these ones out while I'm drinking a beer. Can't get it to really focus, but anyways, those are the old ones. I'm gonna double check what the gap's supposed to be, because I thought I read somewhere the other day it's supposed to be 0.041, and these are nowhere near that, the ones that were in there. So I'm gonna double check that real quick. Okay, so yeah, I don't know, I might not have never set those other ones when I did it last time, but it's 0.038 to 0.043. So I just pretty much split it 0.0040. Analog, a little bit on each one. Don't take a whole lot. Right at the end of the threads where you started in there. And these also have a torque spec, 12 to 14 foot-pounds. So we're going to do them about 13, 14 foot-pounds. I tend to like to go a little bit on the higher side of things on these bikes just because they do vibrate a little bit. Obviously, this Softail isn't too bad compared to like my Sportster and stuff. Vibrates way more. But anyways, got it at 14 foot-pounds now. And once again, that gap is 0.038 to 0.043. Gap line in the middle, 0.040. I'm doing 12 to 14 foot-pounds. Make sure you put that analog on there. And boom, we have brand new iridium spark plugs. Make sure you get that good click in there. Double check connections there. All right, I'm gonna clean some of this stuff off the table. See how I feel. I may try to do the brake thing real quick. If not, that's the first thing we'll do tomorrow when we come out here. Okay, I felt like going a little bit, so I'm gonna do the clutch adjustment. I went along with the socket and the hammer and tapped all these to help loosen them up. Need to do them a little more. Like, just put it in there, tap straight on it, and it'll help most of the time. I'm trying to Get these loosened up. These bolts in particular are just, I don't know why, but a real pain. Anyways, I'll get these off real quick and we'll do that adjustment. Okay, so I've already done the clutch adjustment, but I'm gonna go over it with you guys real quick. You slide this little rubber boot off your clutch label off, take a 1/2 inch wrench, 9/16, take this 9/16 nut right here, the jam nut, loosen it, the 1/2 inch goes. This piece right here is 2 flat spots. Once you get your derby cover off your primary, you're gonna get a 11/16 wrench and a 7/32 Allen. The Allen key goes in there. Take your wrench, pop it loose. That will then spin freely right here. Spin it out freely a few times. Up at your clutch lever, squeeze it a few times, make sure the balls are in there, the ball bearings are in there, are set. And then you want to tighten this down to where you just feel it like get tension, and then it's 1/2 to 1 turn back out. So I did like 3/4, split the difference once again. And then this technically has a 10 foot-pound torque spec where you tighten that jam nut down as you hold this Allen key. I just have to do it with, you know, my wrench, and I take this off and I tighten it just a little bit more with my socket. And then you squeeze the clutch lever a couple more times, and you come back up here and adjust this till your clutch lever is how you like it. It's supposed to have like a 16th to 1/8 inch gap up here, or a bit of play. I tend to do it just a little bit tighter. I've adjusted this clutch on this bike lots of times. I think you're supposed to do it every oil change or something like that. Kind of recommended. I do it as much as I can because I'm very picky about my clutch. If it starts to lose any, I like to adjust it, and I also don't want to burn it up. So put this derby cover back on. We'll drop it down and maybe do these brakes real quick. Real quick before we move on, the derby cover also has torque specs and a torque sequence. So you want to start down with this one. And it's 10 foot-pounds. Then you go up to this one. It's 84 inch-pounds, or 108 to 108 inch-pounds. Or, like I said, 9 to 10 foot-pounds. It's in this sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this last couple, and then we'll move on. Okay, so I just went through the brakes. It's kind of a messy process, so I didn't really film it, but I'm going to tell you guys what I did. So first off, your master cylinder up on your handlebars, you take that cover off with a couple number 2 Phillips with a screwdriver. It's just 2 number Phillips screws in there. Take both those off, set that aside. My fluid was a little dirty. It wasn't nasty, but it was definitely had some black in it, and it was old. And then I came down to the caliper. And this is where I loosened the bleeder nut, and I have a syringe with a line on it, and I pulled all that old fluid out, put new fluid in, pulled it through about 1.5 times, 2 times, and got that all done. This is kind of a nasty piece of hose I have, so I was gonna try, I've never done it before, open this bleeder valve, and then you push your fluid up and you force bleed it with one of these syringes. It's supposed to be really easy, but like I said, I didn't really want to this is kind of nasty, so I don't mind pulling stuff out, but I don't really want to push anything in with it. So I'm trying another method that I also haven't tried before, and because I'm not in a hurry right now, I went ahead and put the cap back on too. And this cap, that little rubber seal around the outside, you just want to tighten it until right before you see it start squeezing out a little bit, but don't over tighten it. And then so my brake lever, I just pull all the way back and zip tied it, and it'll kind of self bleed overnight. So I seen a little I'll just say, seen a little drip of brake fluid. That clutch lever, I don't want it to end up dripping somewhere where I don't want it. And remember, brake fluid will kill your paint. So if you got your handlebars cocked where it's over your tank or something, just be careful. Same with your bleeder valve on the bottom. Just pay attention to what you're doing. Don't go touching your tank if you get it on your hand and stuff like that. Takes DOT4 fluid, just like the rear brake does. So anyways, I'm gonna let that sit overnight and see how it works, because like I said, I've never actually done this method before. I've just done the old school pull, hold, bleed, pull, hold, bleed. But with this line on this bike, it's long and it takes forever. It feels like you're getting nowhere for a really long time. So give it a shot, see if it will gravity bleed itself. If not, we'll just go ahead and go back to old school method. So I'm officially done for tonight. I've got pretty much all the small stuff completely done. We'll just finish that brake thing up tomorrow and then go on to the bigger stuff on the bike. So good night, we'll see you guys.